Back on the SportsMax zone, we're going to talk some cricket now. The West Indies and India will turn their focus to their T20 International Series, which bowls off on Friday at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Tarouba, Trinidad and Tobago. The hosts will have a tough task ahead of them as Rohit Sharma, Hardik Pandya and Rishabh Pant are returning to the Indian squad for this 5-match series. Shimron Hetmyer will return to the squad for the West Indies, having passed the fitness test earlier this week. And here is the full West Indies squad. Sheldon Cottrell, we're told, injured and not available. Nicholas Pooran, captain. Robman Paul, vice-captain. Shamar Brooks, Dominic Drake, Shimron Hetmyer, Jason Holder, Akil Hossain, Alzari Joseph, Brandon King, Kyle Mears, Obed McCoy, Kemo Paul, Romario Shepherd, Odin Smith, Devon Thomas and Hayden Walsh Jr. The West Indies captain Nicholas Pooran spoke to the media ahead of Friday's game, ensuring the team will perform well and lauding players Brandon King and Robman Powell for their batting performances in T20s this year.
I don't know, I guess the guys are, think the guys are always up to the challenge against India. They wanna obviously show the world what they're made of as well. And I don't know, for some reason we just turn up and perform. Unfortunately, we haven't been getting series win, and that's something we want to happen. We just don't want to perform as players, and the team is still losing. So, looking from the series here, the only thing is on our mind is finding a way to be successful in the series. It's not something we focus on because we know even Brandon King, Rafi, myself, we just try to get better as players. But definitely seeing it out there, it means a lot. It means that we are doing something right. We haven't seen guys performing, and being on top of the chart for the year in terms of runs, even wickets as well, for a long time. So we're happy that we are contributing, and obviously we're starting to win games as well. So I think the team is, at least it's not just one player. And normally we have one player who is always standing out, but it's really nice to see there's other players who actually contribute and doing well for themselves. And from a personal confidence level, I know Brandon and Rothman is really confident and they're happy with how they are battling in ODI and in T20 cricket. Even Akil Hussain, the way he's been performing with the ball for us as well has been tremendous. And the guys are, we have guys that stepping up and actually, among the best in the world. And that's something that's really, really inspiring for our team. And we're looking forward to other guys contributing much more as well.
Yeah, so Nicholas Pooran there, the West Indies captain, as they go into this T20 series against the Indians, who of course swept the ODI series, and the Indian team boosted by the return of their captain Rohit Sharma and other key players. Nikhil Uttamchandani out of Barbados now joining us to preview this series. And Nikhil, let me start here. Coming off the one-day international series defeat, the West Indies trying here to rebound, but a tough ask against a very strong India team.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough ask, Lance. They'll be disappointed with the way that they went about sort of the big moments in the first one-day internationals especially. Always going to be tough, with the rain impacting, and of course the series already lost. But I think just how heart-crushing it was to see them come that close to a team that you look in a year's time at a World Cup will be favourites. And you look on the other side of the table, the West Indies are a team that may be asked to qualify for that same World Cup. So the one international format, probably the weakest of the three for the West Indies. I think the fact that they were there and had a huge chance to win in those first two games will be a huge positive. The way the batting lineup was able to rebound on much better surfaces than what we had against Bangladesh, to put up 300 plus totals against a bowling attack that, yes, India were missing senior players, but really it's without only a Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, Mohammad Shami. Others like a Chahal, like Mohammad Siraj, who's come on leaps and bounds, Prasid Krishna, and many others who've challenged those world beaters, as we like to call them, the Australians, the Englands. They were there and they were present, and the West Indies batting lineup still found a way. So, yes, it will be heart-wrenching that they weren't able to come away with at least one game, but I think it will help them going into the T20s with some confidence under their belt.
Yeah, Obed McCoy is a fast bowler that has developed very well for the West Indies in the past year and a half. How much do you expect him to impact this series? And also talk briefly about Shimron Hetmyer's return, because a lot has been made of that. And I'm not sure, how much should be read into his return.
Yeah, I think, first of all, McCoy, huge addition for the West Indies. Many will remember before that T20 World Cup in 2021, before he got that injury to his leg, he was the leading wicket taker in T20 cricket across the world. He's just a fantastic performer for the West Indies. he has so much versatility in his game. I think he's so crucial at the death with those slower deliveries, the back of the hand slower ball. Him and Jason Holder will be great to watch in tandem how they go about things. But I think he's so necessary because of the 4 overs he's able to produce, whether it's in the middle or at the end. He's able to put in that economical sort of performance for his captain. And in terms of Hetmyer, well, great for me to see him back in the team because I think he's one of the best players of spin in the Caribbean. This is an India team that really had the West Indies, well, with the spin bowling in February when obviously the West Indies and India played in those 3 T20 internationals. When I sort of analysed that series and where the difference was, it was in the middle overs 10 to 15, where the West Indies were only able to score just over 7 runs and over. And that's when they faced Ravi Bishnoi, Yuzvendra Chahal. So having a Hetmyer now come into that top order, remind you, who struggled immensely against Bangladesh in those 1 days, I think adds a huge, huge thing. Just to the fact that he's left-handed, the fact that he can play spin, and it also gives West Indies some other options as well. Now you have a Shamar Brooks, a right-handed. Can he possibly split the 2? Nicholas Pooran has very good numbers at number 3. So all in all, I just think it adds to competition to places, but it also helps the West Indies in terms of versatility and flexibility for this series.
Yes, and Nikhil, a common denominator when we discuss the West Indies has to be inconsistency, because sometimes the players come out looking as if, you can't dismiss them at all, and then after some time, they show us that they don't even know how to occupy the crease. Do you expect, and I'm asking this question on the basis of what I would have said, do you expect Brandon King and Nicholas Pooran to step up and continue from the good batting performances that we would have seen from them?
Yeah, definitely. I'll start with Pooran, the captain himself. I think since he's gotten the captaincy, you've seen a huge step up in terms of his leadership. He's captain now 11 games for the West Indies. He's got over 300 runs, averaging over 44, but also the strike rate as well, striking at over 140. He's such an important piece to that batting lineup, as we all know, whether it's the one-day international format or the T20 format. But I think what he brings to the table in T20 cricket, just his ability to attack regardless of the stage. I want to personally see him bat at number 3, because I think when you look at his numbers, he's got 4 half centuries in 18 innings at 3, none at number 4 in 11 matches. So I personally want to see him go up the order, let Shamar Brooks bat at 4. But I think he's going to be so important. That last series against India, he was the standout, 184 runs in February, averaged 61 and got 350s in 3 games. In terms of King, well, I think what him and Kyle Mears have been able to do in the power play overs, especially against that India and against Bangladesh, is just give West Indies a bit of added impetus, take the game on, and put the likes of a Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, the likes of a Deepak Chahar, who played against them back, of course, in February, under some pressure. I think they are so crucial with that new ball, and it's helped the West Indies in the area where they've struggled in the past, in those first 6 overs. It's helped them to get a much more confident start.
And of course, Rohit Sharma is back in the Indian setup. Of course, he assumes his role as captain. Does this put any sort of pressure on the Windies men?
I think huge pressure. When you look at his record against the West Indies, over 585 runs, a man that averages just a tad below 40 against his opposition. I mean, he's world-class, one of the best players in the world. And if the West Indies are sitting down this evening with assistant coach Roddy Eswick or head coach Bill Simmons, there'll be one name that they write at the top of that board, and that'll be Rohit Sharma. If they get him early, you then put pressure on a slightly inexperienced Indian batting lineup. But if he gets away, as we've seen for years and years, that man can take the game and just change the game completely. So he'll be an interesting piece. But what I do like, though, is that the likes of Obed McCoy, Jason Holder, and many of the other West Indies bowlers would have had some experience bowling to him at the last IPL just earlier this year. That will help in terms of the confidence of the team.
Yeah, in 10 seconds, Nikhil, give us a series prediction.
Lance, I'm going to go for the upset. The West Indies are going to win this series 2-1.
2-1. But it's a 5-match series, isn't it? Because
of course, I meant the first 3, and then they are going to win 3-2.
All right, Nikhil. We'll be watching that. Thank you very much for talking to us. Nikhil Uttamchandani there from Barbados. Of course, the series starts in Trinidad and Tobago. The ODIs played at Queen's Park Oval, now the Brian Lara Cricket Academy, and they'll also play in St. Kitts and also in Florida to complete the series of T20s against the touring Indians. We go to break. We still have more cricket to talk about. We'll be back in a moment.